I think, like a lot of us, I think Mike's first time on stage performing was here at an open mic at Bemo's. That's why it's fitting we did it here. Thank you guys for coming out. Get some food. Don't be scared. Grab a zine from over there on the bar. After Bob gets finished setting up here, Mr. Sarah's going to come up and tell you some things about Mike. Then we're going to get the music going. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Lou and Bemos, for hosting. I get it. Today's a heavy day, right? We all got a lot. Grief is complicated. But also, I remember having this conversation. I remember talking about this day with him. We were like morbid teens. And he always said, I want to put the real fun in funeral. He didn't want people showing up all in black. He wanted people to show up as themselves. I think we sterilize grief, we sterilize death, and he wanted to just be real with all of it, with his life, and I think doing this with his death is the most honorable way to remember him. So I know it's heavy, it's hard. Channel the best of who Mike was to you as we tell stories. I'm going to tell some stories. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be earth-shattering for it to mean something. So again, thank you for being here to celebrate the life and love of Spider Mike Johnroe. I knew him as Spider. I've been saying it a lot and people didn't know. He grew up as Spider. Our mom named him after a fictional character, Spider Mike, from the movie Convoy, which is based on the song Convoy. But it was a fictional character that affected her heart so deeply that she wanted him to be remembered. And that's the love that he grew up with, was my mom who opened her soul for a fictional character and named her son after him. So Spider Mike, I knew him as Spider Mike. And then we just dropped the mic after a while, which ended up being perfect. He was born on 8/8/88. Yep, so very magical birthday. I remember his 8th birthday, Mom and I explaining to him what a magic birthday is. That's when your year matches your date, your day. And we were talking about how special it was because all of his 8s lined up. And he goes, how do you know it's my birthday? Because I'm your mom, I was there. Oh. And then, but he, I knew him as Spider. I think most of us knew him as Mike. If you knew him as Mikey, you are rarely privileged. But I think we all knew him as a person of great humor, resilience, and love. The pun game was real with that kid. He was really quick with it because he's been doing it his whole life. I got a car. When I was 18, I bought my first car, and it was a blue Chevy Beretta. And he was my buddy. Hey, you want to go for a ride? Then we just get lost in Bay City and find our way home and talk and listen to music. And the first time he sits in my car and he sees Beretta on the thing, he goes, burrito. That sounds pretty good. I think I'll have one of those. So he named my car. He named the Burrito, and we would go cruising around Bay City. And I'm just gonna hold this. It's awkward. Mike was awkward. We're all awkward. How very human of us. But yeah, so he named the Burrito, and I came out a week after he passed to talk to some friends. And I stepped outside to have a cigarette for a moment, and I turned to the left, and there was this blue car. And I mean the 90s blue, right? Like 91, it's a very distinct blue. And it was that blue sitting right there, and it wasn't a Beretta. And I walked up, it was a Riata. And I was like, what would Spider say? And he would have said, we Riata a burrito. And I was like, yeah, this is what he wants. We're going in the right direction. So again, thank you all for being here. But we did know him for his laugh. You could hear it anywhere in the room. And I gotta tell you a story about that. He was 3 years old and the fastest thing on 2 legs. And he was literally tickled pink by the word ninny. Don't remember where we heard it. It was just literally would make himself laugh so hard, like when you're tickled too long and you're like grasping for air with just being crushed with joy. He laughed like that over that word. And we turned it into a game where I chase him around the outside of the house. Come back here, you little ninny. And he would just be laughing. And he was fast. Like, he almost lapped us a couple times, which is, but you could hear him clear on the other side of the house laughing like that. So the reason why you could hear his laugh over a crowd, over a band playing, he had a deep capacity for love, like just joy. So keep that in mind. As we share our stories, share your laughs. Find that capacity. It's usually because we have the pendulum swinging the other way. When things get hard, we laugh harder. We also knew him for his hugs. We knew Mike for his hugs. Even if you don't like being hugged, a Mike hug is different because he didn't necessarily just hug you as much as he cracked open his rib cage and just kind of embraced you soul to soul. And he did it so naturally. And it was barely weird at all. Mostly just weird in the fact that people don't hug like that. No agenda other than to just say, hey, I see you. Hug people like that, right? Connect with people like that. And I want tonight to be that hug. We're just gonna give Mike the biggest, weirdest, most awkward, enjoyable group hug. So that's what I want tonight to be. So if you have a soul-to-soul moment, however small it was, and you would like to come up and share that story, we would love to hear it. So I can keep telling the story. I don't. But is there anybody here that wants to share a Mike story? Katie?
Yes.
Come on, baby.
You don't have to clap. Stop it.
Too late for clap.
So, I didn't know Mike personally, but I've been researching his Facebook all night. So, based on my experience with this zine that's in my wallet now, I can only understand the love that he shared because of the love that Mr. Share shares with me. And having a brother is something that I've obviously done, and it's so cool to have someone that close to you that understands all those struggles and stuff. So I know how hard it is, and I just appreciate everybody here to support my best friend.
Just make your way up. I mean, honestly, if you guys, I know it's hard. It's hard to share those moments. I will say this. I have not stood in a spot in this room where I haven't heard somebody go, oh, you know him? I didn't know you knew him, or I knew him through this, or I know you from a thing. I didn't, so it's this community tapestry that I think happens. We're all so much more connected than I think we give ourselves credit for. And I think that was who Mike was. And somebody said that to me earlier, is he just, wherever it was, you might know him from here or there, wherever he was connecting. I know usually with eulogies, people will talk about the afterlife and what comes after. And I don't think any of us is gonna get to the after. And no, that's for Spider to know. That's for Mike to know. But I do want to talk about the here and the now, and I do want to talk about community. And please do grab one of those zines. It's brilliant. It's simple and it's perfect. We just need these little things to hold on to. But with grief specifically, this is heavy. This is hard. This is a hard time of year. We all carry our different experiences. And finding the ways to make it easier. I actually wish I grabbed the notebook. Jen, will you go behind the bar and grab the composition notebook? Spider wrote a poem. Mike wrote a poem, and I want to read it because I think it'll help. Grief comes in waves. It ebbs and flows, and sometimes we feel like we're drowning. And that can be true about today, that can be true about so many different things. But hope floats. And hope's not the shiny ship coming to rescue us. Hope is the driftwood. It's the things that we can get in reach that gets us through. You collect your tools, I'm collecting mine. We all have something that's helped get us through the storm. And when we come together in spaces like the Crowded Couch, or your favorite dive bar, or your poetry groups, or your whatever, your just jam session with your friends. Those are those little pieces. We can connect that. Spider connected that with a lot of people. And we can build on that. So I think the more that we share our experiences, our stories, but when we can do it in love and empathy, going through the hard stuff with gentleness. I truly believe there's no bad emotion. There's comfortable and uncomfortable. And it's really hard to be uncomfortable. The most important thing I think we can do, one of the best things that we can do, is learn to be comfortable in the uncomfortable, but finding the spaces where people let you be uncomfortable around them. We all have it. We all have stuff that we're dealing with, that we're processing with, and sometimes you just don't even want to talk about it. You just want to be somewhere that if you do break down, the other person in the room isn't going to go, that's weird. They're going to say, how very human of you. Every animal is born with its first instinct to survive. If you're a horse, you're born, you got to learn how to run. A deer, you got to learn how to run within that first hour, because that's what you need to survive. Humans cry. That's what we do. That's what we gotta do. It's part of it. I'm gonna pretend that's for Spider. But it's a practice. And when you can be around people who can go, how very human of you, you can practice with me. You can share space with me. That was Mike. That's who he was from the core. He saw people. He was fast and smart and clever and loving at the very core of it all. He loved. I do want to read something that he wrote, and then we can get this music started and put the real fun in funeral. It's cold outside, so I'm heading in, where warmth flows out from lips and fingertips, and every tone I hear is home. Family to call my own, and friends who light my night just by smiling. Piling on reasons why I shouldn't let the seasons get me down. If you have a beverage, if you just have love in your heart, let's give a big round of applause for Spider Mike. So we're gonna cry, but we're also gonna dance. We're gonna sing, we're gonna find healing in community, and we're gonna celebrate this guy. So thank you all for being here. So we did talk in between bands and stuff. We'll have karaoke and stuff tonight. But we'll have open mic. If you decide later in the night, actually I do have a story that I want to share. You know, hit up Downs, and we'll have a DJ here later. So yeah, if you got some poetry, if you want to jam, like sign up, let's do some stuff. Let's have fun today.